All right, everyone. Oh, look, color has returned to the stream. All right. So we have some commissions to finish. The pencils, the pencil commissions for sure are gonna get done tonight, and then we have two ink commissions. So this is no long. This is not crazy in the Twitch chat. What's up? Yeah, this is no longer a forever gray stream. This is just a got shit to catch up on stream. All right, all dramatics done. That's it. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do, there's a this one is for Batman, if you can't tell. Specifically Batman the Animated Series Batman. And we're not going to be playing any music as normal because uh I'm scared of copyright stuff. No, 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 no. It's because we're multi-platform streaming, and what's safe on one platform is not safe on all of them. Music wise, so it's best to just leave it silent. What would your hand be like if you threw the batarang? Just ignore the stream elements bot. It's going haywire. It doesn't know what it's talking about. Why was that so big? Thank you for the assume that was a follow. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my alert box. Why was that so big? Covered up half the screen. Okay. But thank you for the follow. Okay, I'm moving the alert box around. Hopefully we just get more people following, and then we can kind of test out where I need the chat box to be. It's so hard to tell where it's gonna land, man. Let's just stick it in the middle of the screen, shrink it, and then yeah. There we go. My bad. It covered up. Okay. Did I end up watching that movie, The Substance? I did. Oh, with the YouTube chat, you gotta go sleep. Buy yourself. Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Go get some rest. Yeah. Crazy in the Twitch chat. Did I end up watching The Substance? I did. I took that night off and I watched The Substance like I said I was going to, and I thoroughly enjoyed it until the end. Not gonna spoil it. It had the Lord of the Rings problem, or the Return of the King problem. It was too many endings. Yek, thank you. Yek says, "Hope you have an amazing time drawing." I appreciate that. That should always be the goal, right? You said it sucks that the ending didn't hold up. It's just, again, without spoiling it, it was like it like something great happened, and then you're just like, oh my god, that's awesome, that's the ending. And it's not. It goes on like another 20 minutes, and then in that span of that 20 minutes, it's just like there's another point where I was like, um there's another point in that 20 minutes where I thought it'd be an awesome place to end it. And it still kept going. I was like, what the fuck, dude? um yeah, that's it. Matt, what's going on in the Instagram chat? Oh, I've just picked up some pencil commissions over the past few days. Whoops. Try not to show any names here. I just picked up some pencil commissions over the past few days, so I'm just gonna get those done. And then after I finish this, I have some ink commissions to catch up on. And then when those are done, I have an NDA thing I gotta finish. We'll probably have an NDA stream where it'll just be my face. I won't share. I won't screen share. Dude, I hope you're doing well though. Hope everything's going all right. So this one right here is they commissioned for specifically the original design for Batman the animated series. Big old blocky Batman. Things are going well. That's good to hear, dude. Hold on. Hold on. The Nightbot is tripping out. Let me fix the Nightbot real quick. Oh, you're gonna go? No, I haven't watched it yet. I'm so behind. We were talking about how I just finally watched The Substance like 2 days ago, so I'm quite behind on everything. But man, I hear nothing but incredible things about Sinners. You're gonna have a good ass time, man. All right, I fixed the Nightbot Twitch chat. My bad. We have to draw a car tonight too. We have a car commission, so try to convince your brother to drive up to Irvine, see it at 7. Oh, he wasn't down. Just gonna go see it normally. Well, I mean, like, again, just based on what people are saying about it, though that would have been amazing. I think I think it's gonna be a good watch regardless. And you get to see it with your brother. Makes it even better. The last movie I got to see with my brother before we both got too busy, I think it was I think we went to go watch Fast 5 together. So in the original design for Batman from Batman the Animated Series, that's when he has really big eyes. If you look at like as they go further into was it the new animated adventures or whatever it's called, the the second era where they change the art style, and then when they go into like Justice League, they shrink his eyes more. They shrink his eyes and sharpen his ears just a little bit more each time. And I'm not sure what it is about doing that to him, but it loses a lot of that. He loses a lot of that like presence because he they shrink his eyes. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to look at the before and afters of like the Justice League designs, and then like the Superman animated series before it went into Justice League, and then the same thing with Batman. They just look so much bulkier. Oh, Malcolm, what's going on, dude? Crazy says used to love watching '90s Batman animated series. Oh, that's one of those shows where I bet rewatching it as an adult, I bet it's so much better. I forgot what we were talking about the other day when we were talking about going back and watching old stuff as an adult. It was Married with Children. It was I was saying I had rewatched just like the first 5 episodes of Married with Children after now as an adult, and I was like, this is like the best show that's ever like this is like the best show ever. Like it would never make the show now. This show would never be made now, and it's just so good. Like everything about it is so on point. A lot of comedy wouldn't fly today, absolutely. But yeah, I specifically that show. I'm sure there's a bunch of shows that will fall into this category, but I had rewatched that not too long ago, and it was only the first couple episodes, but I was like, unbelievable, unbelievable. It's like trying to go back and watch the first four seasons of The Simpsons as an adult, or even rewatching the first 3 or 4 seasons of Family Guy as an adult. Um, it is. I don't know how long it's been since you've gone back and watched old Family Guy, but it's actually a lot. It's pretty subtle. It's not as like mean spirited and in your face as it is now, obviously, but a lot of the jokes just come from absurdity, and it's not. Yeah, it's anyway. As an adult, um, first 3 maybe 4 seasons of Family Guy, definitely first 4 seasons of The Simpsons, Futurama, for sure, Futurama, and of course, Married with Children. Oh, I fixed the alerts on the stream. I did used to watch Mad TV. So Malcolm says Twitter had you laughing your ass off. Was this discussion about 100 men versus one gorilla? Oh, are they talking about who would win in a fight? Is that what they're talking about, or are they talking about that other thing? Yeah, I used to watch Mad TV. I was a when I was in my teenage years, I used to watch a lot of reruns of Saturday Night Live on Comedy Central. Um, that's where I grew a huge appreciation for. I used to watch reruns of Saturday Night Live and old episodes of Conan. Um, and, that was during my teenage years, so I think that played a big part in like my flavor of comedy. And new Saturday Night Live, or even at the time, I was just never really a fan of it. I was just like, this is so like whatever. It's so like lame. But old Saturday Night Live was so sharp. And because of that, on Saturday nights, I tended to when my parents fell asleep, go and watch Mad TV because I had gotten so used to classic Saturday Night Live that I couldn't watch new ones, and that pushed me towards watching Mad TV when I was at that younger age. My parents didn't let me watch Mad TV, so I had to wait for them to fall asleep, which is weird because like I watch all kinds of crazy shit, like all kinds of violent shit. I was watching violent anime when I was how old was I when we got pirated violent ass anime? you know, watch every Arnold Schwarzenegger movie ever, but Mad TV is where they draw the line. South Park, they drew the line at South Park too. Oh, they're trying to see who would win in a fight. So just 100 normal guys. They're not talking about 100 like MMA fighters, right? Just 100 regular guys would get killed by one gorilla. If you fused all those 100 guys into one super being, yeah. But if you're talking about like a gorilla ripping somebody apart one by one, you couldn't even do enough damage to a gorilla, in my opinion. I'm not an expert at this, but 100 guys, if they came falcon punching in like consecutive punches and the gorilla couldn't get a hold of any of them, they're just flying into the screen like Marvel vs. Capcom, assists just flying in. You couldn't even do enough damage to a gorilla. You it would take like 20 men, grown men, to kill a monkey, like a little monkey. Like, do you know how many normal human men would take to kill a normal little monkey? That's what I think. Humans are so squishy. We fall off a ladder and we'll break all our ribs. There are a lot of people out there that are really trying to say 100 men would destroy a gorilla because what? It it having if anything that's going to make it more dangerous because all it has is its survival instinct. Humans are going to be thinking all kinds of crazy stuff. How do we do this? How do I do this without breaking a nail? Right? That gorilla's just going to be like Everybody. Okay. I'm glad I'm not crazy. Glad I'm not crazy. Because it's like the moment you told me that, my brain was like, well, of course they'd lose. Like I was saying, it would look like that scene from Matrix where I'm assuming you say Neo. Neo was fighting all those agents. Actually, it would be a lot faster than that. It's absurd that there are people that think that that these are people who are driving on the road who think that it would go any other way. Now, if you had like, now if you were talking about like, if you had, if there was like if there was like 100 copies of like Deontay Wilder or something, I'd be like, okay, you eventually they'll get him. You know what I mean? Like just by sheer power, they'll get him. I think Prime Deontay Wilder could have knocked out a Rhino, man. That's what I think. Mr. Pigment's in the chat. What's going on? Yeah, ask me anything. That's cool. You can ask me anything. No promise I'll answer it, but you can ask me anything. I'll do my best to answer. I'm assuming it's like an actual art question. Over here talking about Deontay Wilder punching a rhino. That's why I had to clarify what the human specs were before we started the conversation. Dude, I had to uninstall that Star Rail game. You remember we had that sponsored stream with the those anime girls, the new Genshin Impact. New, it's like 2.5 years old. I had to uninstall it because I found myself just like being into play it all day. I was just like, oh, when can I finish? Well, when am I close enough to being done so I can go play that game? So I had to uninstall it, and then I had to uninstall Steam. Would you like scans of a bunch of rare? Would you like scans of a bunch of rare and extinct pigments? Like to ask traditional artists this question. There are some common ones too. What do you mean? I'm not sure. I am not sure what you're asking. Be careful not to push the detail too far because this is again this is based on the animated series Batman. You don't if you push the details too far, then it becomes something else. So anyone in the Twitch chat, I just fixed my alert box with Stream Elements. We're having some issues with it before, so if somebody wants to test it out by following, no, it'll set off eventually, and when that does, we'll have a chance to monitor it and make sure it's all working correctly. Basically make paint and pigments for a living. So we like to supply artists with things like this if they want them. Pigments, like the colorants, and inks. Whoa, that's not your entire collection. It's just the important ones. Wow, that's kind of cool. Um, yeah, if that's something that you're doing just as like a service to artists and to share what you got, that's wicked. Oh, whoops. The business email. But Malcolm said, okay, my favorite that I used to ask your homies was, do you think you could take out 20 10-year-olds in a fight? 20 10-year-olds in a fight? 20 versus 1? Uh I mean, my automatic instinct is to say, of course, but I have to think about that really quick in case there's like a in case there's something hidden there I'm not thinking about. Because my initial response is, of course I could, but that's a 20 is a lot, dude. People don't realize 20 is a lot. Like like we grown ass men, and if like let's say like some 14-year-old guys, they're like in the middle going through puberty. If like 10 of them came at you, dude, that's like a that's gonna be a tough night for you, dude. Like I'm just saying, I think people underestimate how hard it is to like put somebody down. I just say, I'm gonna say yes though, because I'm not above like I'm not above using my teeth, going zombie mode. I'm not against going. I'm not against turning into a Florida man. And I mean, they're 10 years old. I mean, they got that soft skin still. Just rip it right off. Just rip it right off. What, dude? So I do have to ask, wow, what prompted you to want to start doing that? That's always something very welcomed about that because I don't know how long you've been in the field or interacted with other artists or if you like to keep to yourself or whatever, but my experience over the past decade is artists don't want to share shit. Never. They never do. Whoa. Well, I want you to know that I do appreciate that. Not just because you sent it to me, but that service in general. Just even anything like that. So like I used to have a YouTube series where I vlogged when I was traveling to like anime and comic book conventions. I say used to because it's like an old thing. I don't do it anymore. Um, but like I used to travel like every weekend to conventions and I would vlog my time there and I would make videos and talk about if a con was good or if it's not, how well it's run, investments and stuff like that. Um, going to the convention as an artist. And I got a lot of flack from my peers, both people who were new and who had been in the industry for a while, who didn't like that I was putting the information out there. Um, for the same reason, gatekeeping or whatever you want to call it. And ever since then, like my first No, even before, before that, before I started drawing like hardcore, I had gone to an anime convention, and I was walking around the artist alley asking people for advice, and I get it, they were busy, but at the time, I remember feeling so like just like they were there to make money, so obviously I didn't want to like I shouldn't have like tried to bother anybody, but at the time I remember thinking, fine, if you guys are just not going to give me any information, you're not going to help anything, I'm just going to do it instead. um I've had buddies stop posting their convention schedules because they didn't want people to see where the good shows were, things like that. So just to see somebody sharing information like that makes me happy. In the YouTube chat, Bully, Christopher, you're a beginner and you want to start drawing people. Any books to suggest? You have basic perspective, but haven't really manipulated shapes as of yet. That's so in the YouTube chat. I'm glad that you prioritize perspective because I have always championed perspective and shapes over anatomy in regards to like what to learn first. But if you have perspective down, if you're already practicing that, I like honestly, I like figure drawing. Here, I'm gonna type into the YouTube chat. Whoa, we got a follow. That's way too small. We're gonna make that bigger. I'm gonna we're gonna keep modifying the size of the alert box until we get it the size that we want. Okay, let's test that one. And let me know if that alert was like too loud for you. We're just testing out the new alert box, by the way. So if it's a little wonky, a little loud, just gotta bear with me. Okay. In the YouTube chat, figure drawing for all it's worth by Loomis. I also like the Morpho series of anatomy books. Honestly, get those. They're really inexpensive. Figure drawing for all it's worth by Loomis is available in PDF form online legally. I mean, you could pirate it if you want, but I'm just saying you don't have to. You can get it legally. They have the PDF is online. Uh, how did you learn to make shadows like that? Create form to your drawings? Oh, so what I'm doing right now is just it's pretty stylized. Um, but in general, everything that you draw is a shape, right? Okay, hold on, really quick. Back to the YouTube chat. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Those Morpho books, there's a lot of them. You have a lot of options. I have the reason I suggest the Morpho books is they're really easy to digest and they're really inexpensive. If they came hardcover, I would have spent more to get the hardcovers, but they don't. But this is the one I think you wanna. So mine's all jacked up because I like fucking make out with it every day. Uh, yeah, I think specifically for what you were asking, Bully in the YouTube chat. Um, this is the Morpho book that you want. I think it's the biggest one. Yeah. So Pixel, everything that you draw is just a shape, right? Like Batman's arm here, that's just like a I was gonna say a tube. It's a it's just a cylinder, right? Or I guess over here. Well, this is so stylized though, so I don't know if this is a good example. But in short, everything is just a shape. So when you shade something, just assume you're shading that shape. So like if you were to look at like the bicep, it's just like a it's just like a what would that shape be called? I was gonna say ellipsis. It's a 3D ellipsis. It's basically like it's a ball, right? So when you shade it, you want to treat it like that. Does that make sense? It's the same thing. If you look up, I think tutorials on uh how to shade for volume. Volume would be the key word when you're looking. Um, you'll get the kind of I think you'll get the answers that you're looking for way better than I can give them. I can direct you to where to find them. Justin, hello. Anyway, so to answer the really important question that came up in the chat is, do I think I could beat up 20 10 year olds? The answer is yes. Anyway, back to the important shit. Yes. See, because you're taking out, okay, so like they had the quantity, right? They had the volume, but what you're forgetting is, so I recently had a birthday, and I have officially crossed over into having what's referred to as what's referred to in the gym as old man strength. Okay. Now you young Instagram kids who just started lifting a couple years ago, you don't know about this, but I've been lifting weights for a really long time. You know, Ronnie Coleman days, and we have this thing called old man strength, and that's what I have now. So the kids could have me on volume, but I got old man strength now. For anybody who doesn't know what old man strength is, it's like you, you ever see like an old dude at the gym and he's just fucking strong for like no reason. His like his muscles and his tendons are just super strong just from existing for like 40 years. Yeah. Anyway, that's how I'd fuck up those kids. Probably should. Peel to the next layer. Now we'll do that later. I'm gonna go ahead and turn down the volume on the alerts. All right, cool. You honestly think seeing 100 men attempt to take down one gorilla would be the most violent massacre? Yeah, all jokes aside, it just wouldn't go well. But I mean, you get 100, you get 100 men together. There's no doubt that they will have the confidence. You know, they're gonna be hyping each other up, like, "Oh, we got this." It's getting late there. Well, I appreciate the lurk. I appreciate you sharing that information. We need more of that, and I do appreciate it. I hope you know. That first guy got his. Is it they instantly see each other as an immediate threat? Because I would argue, you know what? If it was a coordinated, I think if I was one of the 100 and I was allowed to command 99, I think I can win. If you're talking about an all-out brawl, would not go well for the humans. But if it was like StarCraft style and I can like kind of click them around, um the first 10 guys, their main objective is going to be to get his eyes. it would be you send all of them in like a circle. We're talking about this. Send all of them in like a circle, right? So you distract, and then you have 10 guys dedicated to getting his eyes. Now, you assume you have to just assume none of those 10 are going to make it, but if the plan goes through, huge advantage. So from that point on, okay, he's lost vision, you can just starve him out. Boom, I got it figured out. Actually, I don't even think his other arm needs to be visible at all. You'll tell me that wouldn't work though. At least my reasoning for why my plan would work goes beyond it's a dumb animal. I also believe they would. Um, that's why I said it has to be under the assumption that I'm on some like StarCraft shit, where I'm just they follow orders and commands. But then that defeats the purpose. Then they're not really human at that point, right? Yeah. So I guess no matter what, the animal wins. But I'm telling you, strategy wise, we could do it. What's going on, everyone? I want to say hello and thank you to everybody in the YouTube chat. I want to say hello and thank you to everybody in the Instagram, and most of all, everybody in the Twitch. If you guys want to experience this stream at full quality, um, no verticalness, Twitch is where it's going to be at. In other words, Twitch is the only one that I'm using my graphics card to encode. The other ones are like laggy CPU streams. Well, I was having the blue screen of death. I was having a blue screen death loop earlier after I plugged in my headset. I don't know what happened, and I was getting real sad because I was like, I thought that was it, because my system's getting on about 4 years now, and I have abused the shit out of it throughout these years of work, and it should have a good amount of life, but every time something like that happens, it's like, oh, this is the one. This the one. you know. Give me a reason. Give me a reason to build a new computer. What games are you currently playing on my PC? I don't play a lot of games. Um, the only games that I've played over the past like year, I played Grounded with my wife, and then I played majority of the games I play are co-op with the wife. We played Grounded, uh, Icarus, so a lot of crafty games, and then last week I had a sponsored stream where we played Star Rail, and my God, that game super addictive. So I had to uninstall Steam and Star Rail from my computer pretty recently. Ah, shit. I also had to uninstall. Well, I used to play Master Duel a lot, Yu-Gi-Oh. That's because in real life I used to be a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player. So, but I also had to get rid of that. I just had to get rid of Steam in general. So over the past few months, uh, I've been like graphics card hopping, and we're gonna not stay on the computer talk very long because I know a lot of you guys don't really care about that. Um, there was a short period of time where I had a 7900 XTX. That thing is hella strong. That card was awesome. What about you? Are you playing any games? Computer games? My wife just downloaded the what's that game? Oblivion. It's included with Game Pass. And if you have Game Pass for console, it carries over to Game Pass PC. And I looked at the price of that game on Steam and it was $50. I was like, yeah, what games are everyone playing right now? What games is everyone playing? Are what games what games are everybody what y'all playing right now? Oh, Marvel Rivals just haven't had a bunch of time to play at all. Playing old school games though, like Mega Man. I played Mega Man. Is it Mega Man 11? The one with the time or the gears that lets you slow down time. Damn, that game was hella good for a Mega Man game. Like it was like a good balance of like challenging but not unfair. Felt like Mega Man 10. I think it was 10. I think it was Mega Man 10 where it was like a throwback style. That game was just stupid. That was just unfair for the shits and giggles of being unfair. Oh, Black Mist, you're on Oblivion right now? Okay. Yeah, I just mentioned my wife had just downloaded that for yeah. Oh, by the way, you know how was it May not last week, I think it was the week before. We had that live stream where we upgraded my wife's computer. Everything on that's running perfect. We have all the videos rendered out. Um both of those videos were over a terabyte each. So very much needed to install that 14 terabyte drive. Warzone is fun to play with friends. Download Oblivion Remastered. You need to start it. Well, I'm very fortunate. My wife is a big PC gamer now, and she has this. The I got her a 4K monitor, but it's a 60 hertz monitor, and she hasn't really experienced super high frame rates. So it's one of those things where I don't want to expose her to that because then we have to, because you know what happens, right? You just get that, you know, it's like if 60 is great. I think 60 is perfect, right? I think 30 could feel a little choppy. Um, I think 60 is like the perfect spot. But if you go higher, that's great too. I don't want to expose her to any higher frame rates because if you lock everything at 60, then all of your gear has a bunch of headroom, right? But the moment you start pushing more frames, that's when you need like tough hardware. And I don't want to buy that. What's everybody's monitors at, by the way? I used to play Apex a lot, but Toxic Community. It's one of those things, right? Like you like the game, but oh wow, my bad. Are we is my audio clipping for you guys? I just noticed that we're getting into the reds a lot. My bad. Let's just move the mic away a little bit. Um, yeah, there are certain games you want to play, like League of Legends. They just need to make like a campaign, like a solo campaign for League where you can just play how you want and just not have to interact with other people. Power Stone. I I like Power. I started with Power Stone 2, and then when I tried to play the original Power Stone, I just couldn't do it because it's like Power Stone 2 is just a more refined version of it. Ten eighty, 240. See, I'm a graphics. Oh, okay. Thank you for the follow. I'm gonna slightly move Saitama over just a little bit so we get that alert exactly where we want it to be at the center of the screen. Spring Ends, thank you for that follow. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm a graphics person. I I would rather have a consistent, 58 to 60, just consistent, right? Um 58 to 60 frames, consistent, no dips and spikes or anything. Um at preferably 4K, but 1440 works, I guess. 1440 windowed. That's all. I have a 3060 Ti. That's all it can really do right now. Okay, so there's the Batman. And then so they wanted Batman from the original animated series. So we don't want to push it too far. You don't want to add too much detail because you still want it to look like Batman from that series, right? Um, so this same person commissioned this as well. So we this one I just put the base for it down. We're gonna put the details in right now. Oh yeah, so long story short, I was graphics card hopping a lot over the past few months. Every time I got a hold of a good one, with the intents of with all intentions of keeping it, I was just able to flip it. Like I wasn't even trying to. I just like was able to. And it really sucked cuz it's cool, but it's so unnecessary. Nobody needs I don't need a 7900 XTX, But yeah, I was able to flip them, and I was able to get a 3060 Ti from my brother, who had upgraded his whole system. I actually got a hold of his whole computer. I only wanted the graphics card out of it, but he gave me the whole thing. Um, and I pulled it out of that, and I said, you know what, I'm done. I'm just gonna sit. I'm just gonna sit on this until 9070s become more available or some shit like that. Okay, it looks like the Instagram stream froze. So we're gonna go ahead and start that over again. I don't know what's going on with the Instagram stream. I don't know why it trips out like that. What's the bit rate for an Instagram stream? Malcolm, how'd that OT go? Once again, I'm happy to hear that. Actually, I bet we could encode the Instagram stream. I bet we could GPU encode that without it freaking out. It went. I've just been. It just makes me happy to hear that. I've had some friends recently kind of get like promotions and kind of move up. I've had a buddy kind of just move away recently, which I mean sucks because he moved away, but I know it's best because it was for work and he took his family with him and all that. So I mean, like it's just been kind of nice to hear everyone around, whether you're on the stream or in person, just kind of doing a lot, like stuff, things, moving up. They say time catches up to everybody, especially when you're standing still. Bars. Over in the YouTube chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. So Addy says looks sick. Scum says artwork looks great. Thank you. Yeah, so we have these pencil commissions to finish, but we do have ink like regular, I say regular, like Copic marker commissions. Yeah, I'm no, just YouTube. Oh, we're supposed to be streaming on TikTok as well. Okay, hold on. What we're on right now, we're on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. About to fire up the TikTok stream right now. My bad. Holy shit. Let's go ahead and turn that on. If we weren't stressing out the processor already, let's go ahead and do this. Audio check. Come on. I used to stream on Picarto, but I had it was like 0 views. I have it saved. Like I have a folder on my browser that has YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, Kick, Rumble, Trovo, and Picarto. Uh, it's just I didn't have any viewers on there, and I didn't want to like I was limited on hardware for encoding, so I had to drop something. So Picarto was the first one to be dropped. Scum, I appreciate that. Okay. Let me fire up the TikTok stream. I'm using TikTok Live Studio. Uh, can it support a third? Do people even use Picarto? I don't know. I don't think so. But the point is, it's free to stream there, right? So I was like, let's just throw it on there. I don't know if my graphics cards could support a third. TikTok doesn't allow for a CPU encoding. They only support GPU encoding, which is fucking weird. But we're gonna try it. If all right. Hopefully the Twitch chat doesn't crash. Oh yeah, see, it looks like the Instagram streams crashed again. All right, you know what? Oh no no no, it's going now. Okay, that's it. Now we can get back to drawing. Yeah, it's the reason I don't stream on. I'm not actively streaming on Kick and Rumble right now, is because I'm limited to how many encode like sessions I can. I'm hardware limited right now to how many like encode sessions I can support. So obviously Twitch, YouTube, Instagram have to be the priority, right? And then TikTok, if there was like a wild card, it'd have to be TikTok just because the amount of people there. Chelsea, hello, over in the TikTok. Yeah, but if you're not hardware limited to like your encoding sessions, like to how many places you could stream to, um, I don't see why you wouldn't stream to everything. Three is a lot as is. Yeah, I have three on the GPU right now, which normally I can't do on a 3060 Ti. Normally it would start to kind of like trip out a little bit. And then I have one on the CPU. Normally I do two and two. The thing that makes it hard is when I am doing, if I'm streaming digital art, I can't CPU stream because I have to leave all that headroom open for the digital art programs that I'm using for Clip Studio Paint and Photoshop. So anytime I stream digital art, it has to be 100% GPU, and that is rough. Last year I had a 4070 Ti Super before I gave in to prices and flipped it. That has a the dual encode chip on it, or dual encode on it, and you could support like 10 streams on it. I um I think the 7900 XTX also had dual on it, but I didn't get to test it out before I sold it. Not like I would have kept it anyway. Anyway, my point is, for artists anyway, I understand if you're a gamer and you can't spare the hardware for it, but if you're an art streamer, I don't see why you're not multi-streaming to everything. Like you should just be streaming to everything. Oh, Scum, over in the Instagram. I appreciate you hopping over there and checking for me. Thank you. Okay, so if the Instagram is working, that's good to hear. On my end, it's frozen. Like my video is frozen, but my chat is still moving. So as long as it's looking okay. Over in the TikTok, I want to say hi to everybody who's joined. We are working on some commissions right now. Just some pencil commissions right now, and then we have some ink commissions to work on after this. Thank you for all the likes on the TikTok video. I appreciate that. Well, I hope it's basically the end of the month. I hope everybody it's working pretty good. Sorry it's frozen on your end. But Scum, I appreciate you checking that out. That's like super cool. Very cool of you. Um I forgot what I was talking about. See some studies recently on my Insta. Sweet warped lens effect and figure foreshortening. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, oh, okay. So something about April. So first thing about the studies. Yeah, it's just that's kind of like my default. That's like my safe zone is I work primarily with brush pens. For the years that we were streaming here, that's kind of all we did here for years. We just hung out and I used to buy those 600-page sketchbooks and we would just murder those sketchbooks like every month. We would just study a lot of form, um rotating, learning new subjects and trying to rotate them in free space. So like being able to rotate things in any perspective, in any angle, draw them in any angle without reference. Well, without reference after X amount of study time, right? Um, After X amount of study time with reference, of course. But yeah, that's kind of like my safety zone. That's the stuff I'm actually kind of been moving away from because I've been doing that for so long. Whoa. Thank you for the follow. But thank you for checking out that on the Instagram. But yeah, like I said, that's like my safety zone. That's the stuff I've been kind of moving away from because I've been doing that stuff for so long. Uh, what do I want to improve on the most? I've been playing around with different mediums, many different mediums, and I just, I just, I don't think there's any one thing that I really want to get better at. I just want to expand kind of everything. I've been dicking around with a lot of different mediums, different subject matter. A majority of my commissions that I get are, of course, single character things like this because most of my career has been at comic book conventions, anime conventions. So usually this is the kind of stuff you'll see me do on stream. Um, but kind of anything really. Without getting into too much detail, one thing that I have been very focused on is scale. I I used to be really into industrial design and cityscapes, so there was a lot of my I'd say 2017 to 2019 era where I was doing a shit ton of that cityscape stuff. Um, became very routine, but one thing I always had trouble with was scale. So, hold on, Scum is asking what I'm using to shade. It's just a, it's just like a pencil smudger. For what's the official name for these things? I call it the smudge tool because that's what it's called. Um, it's a blending stump. That's what the real word. That's what the real name for it is. The blending stump. I always call it the smudge tool because I spent so much time doing digital. It's a blending stump. Have you delved into animation as part of you expanding? I messed around with animation like 10 years ago, but I have not gone back. I wonder how I would like it now that I actually know how to draw. Now that I've spent so much time with like gesture, maybe doing something animated will be come a little bit more natural to me. But yeah, so I did mess around with animation at one point, but that was a long time ago, and I haven't gone back to it since. Yeah, so like I said, a majority of my career was, comic book conventions and this kind of stuff. So naturally, you get to a point where, whoa, we got another follow. Thank you. Where you just want to do something else. Only one way to find out. Yeah, seriously. I know, I know. I barely have. Yeah. When is that Magic TCG event going on? Oh, the Magic convention is in June in Las Vegas. Oh, my deck came in. Hold on, hold on. Did my alarm go off? Did my alarm go off? Nope. Well, it said it did. Oh, we probably need it. Oh, I mean, are you going back to sleep? No, I'm getting back. I'm saying we're going to go back to sleep. You come see me again. Have you slept yet? No. Oh, you want to see my dick? Oh. Love you. Love you. Aw, shit. So my buddy, All right. So for those who don't know, I used to be like a hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh player, like a competitive Yu-Gi-Oh player. So then I got too addicted, so I had to put it all away. And then not not too long ago for my birthday, I went to go hang out with my friends, and we started playing Magic. And I was like, shit, I want to play this. So as one of my birthday gifts, my buddy, and we'll get back to the drawing in a second, but just my stream, I'll do what I want. My buddy sent me a whole deck, and he gave me this for my birthday. It's the Post Malone card. Post, son of Rich. Yeah, so I have to kind of familiarize myself with this deck, because someone in the chat brought up the Magic convention that I'm going to be going to. Not as an artist, just as a nerd. I didn't realize there were some Carl Kapinski cards in here. That makes me happy. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna adjust the camera so we can zoom in on this. But it's a commander deck. So it's like 100 cards. It's like 100 cards, so yeah. I have a lot of practicing and research to do, but yeah. Yeah, I'm going to have to set aside some mad hours for this. Past, present, and post Malone. Yeah. I have better friends than I deserve. Let's go ahead and leave Posty. We're going to leave Posty right here for the stream. Posty's going to hang out right there for the stream. Wow, 200 likes on the TikToks. I do appreciate that. I hope y'all can hear me because it's showing that my audio is not going through on the TikTok. Oh yeah, so we were talking about April, the month of April. It's actually my birthday month, and um, was not the most productive. So I just hope everybody had a good month. I hope everybody's getting ready for. I know time is arbitrary, whatever. My point is, I hope everyone can have a good start later this week to the new month. Thank you for the follow. Oh, depicting scale. Okay, my bad. I got distracted because I started thinking about magic. So I've done a lot of cityscapes and like scenes. I like drawing scenes, right? Like things that look like they're snippets of storyboards is like my favorite type of thing to draw. Um, and I just don't. I'm just not good at getting something to have a sense of scale. So like, you ever watch? Of course you've seen it, Akira, you know, and how everything looks so grand in it. Like even like on the city street level, when the scene is just like on the city street, but everything around it is so grand. Like the buildings are so like epic, right? And those are just paintings. But for some reason, anytime I draw a cityscape or scene, particularly when I have subjects like humans or cars in it, I can't seem to get that like grandiose feel. Scum, welcome back to the YouTube chat. I can't get that, that like sense of scale. Um, Again, this book has a bunch of paint on it now because I was studying out of it. So anime architecture is one of the books I went to out of desperation, trying to figure out study sense of scale. They have some Akira stuff in here too, but like, yeah. So ugh, there's like paint all over this shit. My bad. It's like dried. It's like dried paint because it's oil. It's still like sticky. My bad. I need to clean this. Um, but you get what I'm saying with like, if I can find another example in here. So specifically when I like if I draw a person, I just can't get it to look, like just like something like this. It's very simple. And even though there's not a person in it, you could just tell how like big that place can be, right? I don't know. It's hard. I don't know if I'm making any fucking sense. But hopefully you understand what I'm saying, even if I'm not making sense. I think that's one thing I've always struggled with. So if there was one thing that I am working on, oh, see, I'm not good at remembering artist names, but I'm very good at remembering their work. Very familiar with this artist's work, not name. Anyway, yeah, I just recently seen his Galactus Silver Surfer piece, and it never registered. Like I recognize the work, can never remember anyone's name. That's why when I go to like in-person events, like I go to comic book conventions, other artists they introduce themselves by their real names, And I'm just like, am I supposed to know you? And then that's why I always try I always try to just remember faces, but it's so difficult. Like I suck at it so bad. Even if I cared, it'd be difficult. Yeah. So anytime I go to a lot of events in real life with other artists and they try to introduce themselves by their name, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, can you just say what your online name is? Make life a lot easier. I wonder how you'd practice getting better at that. You guess maybe drawing a scene of people in the city, but then draw again from a different camera angles and get a feel for it. I do that well, I haven't done it in a while, but one of the exercises that I learned, I went to one of Kim Jong-gi's lectures like a long time ago, and one of the exercises that he taught that I practiced a lot was drawing one scene from different perspectives. So you would just draw like a flat version of a scene, and then you would artificially, like place cameras in different spots and then see if you can draw what that camera would see from that particular angle. That was an exercise that he said would he's like, this is one of like super helpful exercise. So I like lived and died by everything he said, right? So that was really good for practice. Didn't help with my sense of scale. How do you fix that? I think it's just practice. To get better at that particular thing that I'm struggling with, that scale, that grandiose feeling of an image. Um, I think it's just practice, and I think colors have a lot to do with it too. Because I could just take like a 10-foot straight edge and just do a bunch of really big building drawings if I want on like a large piece of paper if I wanted to, and then you could be like, well, those are the drawings really big and there's a lot of buildings, there's a lot of windows, that seems really grand, right? Um, but I think if like with Akira, they use a lot of colors in there. I think that adds a lot to it too. There's just a lot involved in it, and I think the way to get better at it is to just dick around with stuff until you find what looks the way you dick around with enough different things, and eventually you'll find the thing that looks like the thing you've been looking for, and then you just try to remember how to do it. But I do suck at a lot of things. So I'm not gonna go list off all the things I suck at. I want to get better at, but there you go. That's the long answer to the question you asked. What's something? That's one thing. There you go. And that crazy soundtrack might play a part in that too, right? It's just drums. Want to make something seem more epic? Just put some drums on it. I mean, how much of that soundtrack is a didgeridoo? Just wow, wow. Thank you for all the likes in the TikTok chat. You realize most of your drawings are isolated figures, vehicles, bikes, anatomy, no landscapes or cityscapes. Well, I find it's different for everybody, but um, for me, like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that I find challenging, like drawing a single character like this, like these floating characters, this is just such easy work, right? Like this is just so whatever, right? And then if you were to draw just a normal city, in my opinion, that's kind of easy work too. But to be able to mix it all together, to have a vibrant city with a lot of like people that are scaled correctly. Oh, do I have a? I don't have it on me. Shit. Like to have a lot of humans walking around on like a city street would be a very. I find that's again the whole scaling thing is difficult. Um, but a landscape on its own, landscape, cityscape, easy work. Single person, especially a floating one, easy work. Putting them together. So here's an easy one. Have you ever drawn a person sitting in a car? I can draw the person first and construct the environment, the car around them. I could not start at like the steering wheel, build the car, and if I tried to draw the person last, I could not draw them scaled properly. I mean, if I did a pencil under sketch, obviously I'd get it. If I'd get it right. But I'm talking about like if I was just inking it, just freestyling it. Yeah, that was a weird thing that I don't know when I realized that. I was like, oh man, I could totally draw a person and then assemble the car around them. I can't do the other way around. Oh, what kind of cars did you like to draw? I'm a I like to draw. I found that I like drawing kind of any car modified with things that I'll never be able to do in real life. So, calling it a night. Have a good stream. I'm going to fist fight 2010 year olds. All right, man. Good luck with all that. I'm telling you, kicking them is the best way, but I'm not gonna. If that's how you wanna do it. Punch away. I recommend kicking them though. They'd be from magazines, but then went on doing concepts like eight wheelers and wacky supercars. Oh, that's fun. What are we doing? Okay, so that's done with. We already did that one. Okay, so this one is actually. So this one's not really fan art. This one is a custom commission. Actually, one of the commissions we have is of the Thing from the movie The Thing. Oh, someone says, "Oh my god, that looks so good." Thank you, TikTok chat. I appreciate that. All right, give me a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna have to go check on my wife real quick. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so the next commission is actually there's two choices. There's one is a custom character, and the other one is the thing from the thing. I think we're gonna do the thing. Is that one good? Yeah, that was good. Post Malone approves. I'm gonna do the form of the thing that's like partially a dog. Because what are the alternatives? There's the one where it's just the head with the leg, or the head with the little spider legs, right? Um, I don't like its final form at the end. The thing is more fun when it's like it has other things on it. That its final form at the end is that one's just like straight up just an alien. That's not fun. It's more fun when it has like parts of other creatures attached to it. Oh, you're thinking Fantastic Four thing. No, that's just thing. This is the thing. It's a little less off-putting than than Ben Grimm. That's a fair assumption considering we hop from comic book character to like comic book character, right? Or yeah, comic book to anime character. Do I still have yeah, I haven't shipped this out to the client yet, but we did this commission last week. It's just like it's like my favorite thing that I've been getting a lot of like the fact that I have the thing to do and then I have the crypt keeper and then I have a custom thing. It's been nice to get non conventional type of commissions because what I normally get is like fucking Iron Man. It's just always the same things over and over, right? Goku, you draw Goku and Beerus, right? Um, so I've been getting a lot of wacky stuff lately. So this I got this one last week. And this is like the my favorite, at least subject matter wise, my favorite commission I've got in like the past like 2 years. This was Copic markers. I want to thank the TikTok chat for all those likes. Thank you very much. Ooh. Ugh, he's got like a turkey leg. Who here has not seen The Thing, the '80s one? You've only seen the beginning, which is funny because that's the ending to the 2011 prequel. Spoilers. Ah, thank you for the follow. We're just gonna move Saitama over just a little bit, and then I think we'll have the gonna move Saitama over just a little bit, and I think we'll have the alert box exactly where I want it to be. I've been struggling with Stream Elements alert box for like 2 weeks now. I think we got it now. Yeah, it's got Kurt Russell in it. There's a prequel, yeah, 2011. It doesn't help that it's also called The Thing. It's not like The Thing before. It's not the thing, it doesn't have like, it's not a thing colon something, comma something. It's just the thing. But the letters are in HD. So, if you weren't aware that there was a prequel to it, it came out in 2011. It's got my girl, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, in it, and they had beautiful animatronics in it. Just fucking gorgeous. It looked like the old school one. So naturally, after initial test screenings, they went back and painted over all of it with CGI. You could find like documentaries on it. It's like it's insane that they went over these puppets, these works of art with a really bad rushed CGI. It's crazy. Ah, animation. Uh what's your animation program of choice? You're like my flip book, bro. I was using Flash, old school Flash. But I was doing frame by frame, but I was using Flash because it had onion. What's it called? Onion skinning? Is that what it's called? Like, fuck, I can't remember. It's been so long. Um, so I just used that. I didn't use any tweening because I don't like how it looked. Because tweening is just it's just dragging a PNG file. It's the difference between the original opening for The Simpsons. If you go to the part in the original opening of The Simpsons where it shows Maggie in the grocery bag, she comes out, shakes her hand like this. Um, in the old one, you could tell that was frame by frame. But then if you go to the new version of The Simpsons opening, that part it's obviously tweened because it's just her hand. It goes like that. Special sketchbook with ballpoint for a while, but I did try Procreate. I like Procreate, but it's mobile only. To me, a tablet is mobile. If I can't if I can't go like all out on my desktop with it, then to me it's mobile. Yo, the minute Procreate goes desktop, that's a wrap, man. Depending on their prices, Clip Studio Paint, Clip Studio Paint is gonna be GG. If Procreate, oh, again, depends on the price. Yeah, so there's that going back to that thing we were talking about before. What would happen if I gave it another chance now that one, I know how to draw. Uh Two, I have access to Clip Studio now versus when I was using Flash back then. Them's was the new ground days though. Everyone was using Flash back then. We That's when it was Manga Studio. Remember Manga Studio? To this day, I still say clip excuse me, Paint Tool Sai has the best blending of any digital art program. I thought Manga Studio became Clip Studio. We don't even know anymore who bought out who. When I was doing a bunch of my hyper realistic digital paintings, when I was like in that era where I was just like, oh, gotta learn how to hyper realistic paint, and everybody tells me to do digital art only. And I was in that era, that phase. I was using I used Coral Painter. I tried Photoshop, but there's no blending in Photoshop. There's stamping in Photoshop. Um, I was hopping between Paint Tools, not Clip Studio Paint, excuse me. I was hopping between Paint Tool Sai, Corel Painter, various versions, and there was something else. There was another program that I was trying, but at the time my computer couldn't handle it because I was working on a laptop. I fucking can't remember what it was. But even to this day, I'll say Paint Tool Sai has the best blending. Actually, Rebel. Have you tried Rebel or have you heard of Rebel? Oh, there's an add-on to make Sai an animation. Shit. I have an old version of Sai where it limits the canvas size to pretty small, which I think is one of the reasons I moved away from it. Have you tried Rebel? It is supposed to be uh incredibly realistic behavior for its painting tools on there. So like you choose the type of paper and then you choose the brush and then you can kind of choose all that stuff. You kind of choose like every part of it and it behaves the way it would in real life. It even like bleeds onto the canvas. You know how oil bleeds, the oil bleeds. It'll do that too. Um, I tried using it, and I mean it's cool, but it was like taxing my CPU like a motherfucker, dude. I have I have I have a 5950X, so it's not a slouch. But I was using that app. I was using that application, and it was pushing me to like 100%, all 16 core. Like everything was just firing, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" So I put that application away just because I I just didn't have the hardware for it or whatever the fuck. I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe there's some settings in there. But that's what turned me away from that application. Something to think about: if you purchase a bigger bed, you have more bedroom, but less bedroom. Man, why are you trying to make us think about that crazy shit right now? I have a couple of different reference pictures for the dog form of the thing. This thing is gross. Sorry, Posty. You gotta get out of the way. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Get some rest. I know he's mixed with a dog, but he straight up has like turkey parts. It's not true. If anyone's wondering what the hell we're drawing, one of the commissions that I got was for The Thing from the movie The Thing, which is really gross, and it's like absorbing a dog. So that's what we're drawing right now. If anyone's wondering. TikTok tried to kick me off. Well, that's enough of that. Looks like the Instagram stream for realsy this time crashed. So we're just gonna let that do its thing. Crimson, what's going on? Uh, yeah. So we have some pencil drawings to do right now. Um, this one's kind of gross. This is a commission of The Thing from that movie, The Thing. Oh, Crimson in the TikTok. Hope you can hear me. Well, I want to thank all the new followers that we got on the Twitch chat or the Twitch channel over the past week. Everything's looking pretty good. Let's see if we could revive the Twitch channel. Let's see if we could revive all of our social media channels. How about that? Took a bit of a break, and it was very difficult to find time to stream. Still a bit difficult, but um, do our best. Our, do our best to bring everything back to life. Yeah, how about that? Okay, so we hit the 2.5 hour mark. That's usually around the time I like to take a bit of a 10-minute break. Let's go ahead and close the vertical stream because we don't need that anymore. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick couple-minute break. Gotta go check on the family, make sure everyone's doing all right. Maybe get a little food, some water, all that stuff. So doing all this, and then I'll leave Post Malone right here to watch over the stream. There. Okay. Uh, Go ahead and put it on the screen. Boom. Taking a short break. We'll resume under. Hold on. We don't have that for the TikTok. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Quick little break. Gonna come right back. Post Malone will watch over the stream for us. All right, we have returned. We have to thank Post Malone for protecting the stream while we were gone. Oh, Crimson, thank you. Hope everybody had a good April. By the end of the week, we'll be in the new month. And I hope everyone can have a strong start to the new month. So I'm hitting it with the blending stub, the a really large blending stub right now. Um, just to smudge up all the pencil marks. Then I will be going in with a much thinner one. Um, because like these other characters we were doing, they're just like anime characters, comic book characters, right? They didn't. I can get by using just the big um smudger. But this is based on a movie, so it's a much more realistic character. So we're going to be putting a bit more detail into this one. And for that, we'll be moving downwards from the bigger stump to the smaller one so we can get finer details. And then eventually, we're going to go down to the mechanical pencil just to add in like the final touches. So there's a couple more steps involved with this one than like that Alphonse drawing. Hi, I'm open for commissions, by the way. Crazy Heard Sinners was a good movie. It just came out. Yeah, I also heard that. I had a one of my buddies was in the chat earlier. Look at me slurring my words. My buddy was in the chat earlier and he was talking about he's about to go watch it tonight. I also haven't watched it yet. I just caught up on watching The Substance. I'm probably not going to get around to watching Sinners until it's available on streaming. Just the concept of me leaving the office and not working for that much amount of time is just like not gonna fly. I could swing that like a couple times a month, but that's it. That's how volatile being an independent artist can be sometimes. So I'm finally in a place where I now have to switch back over to sitting at my desk. When I first assembled this office years ago, I got a standing desk, and I have been working on a standing desk like full time for years. The only times I would sit down would be to eat. If my wife was awake, I'd sit down and eat with her. If she was still asleep, I actually come back to my desk and eat at my desk standing, or I eat standing in the kitchen while I feed my dog, and I just stand there while she eats. Um, when I go to sleep and when I go to the bathroom, those are the only times I sit throughout the day, or if I drive somewhere to run errands. But now I'm getting to this age where I feel like I'm expending a ton of energy standing. Um, it's probably just the accumulation of just so much over the past few years for me. And this week, one of my goals is to move this standing desk because I have everything cable managed for the distance of a standing desk. So I'm gonna have to like disconnect everything, retie and recable manage everything, lower the desk, and get a new chair. But anyway, I'm in a weird place where I'm just like, oh my god, I'm obviously not as young as I used to be. I stand, can't stand like this. Yeah, so at some point this week, there's gonna be a different kind of camera angle, and it will be me sitting, and we'll be drawing while we sit, moving forward. Originally, I wanted to stand full time because I knew that as I'm always standing. Yeah. Um, my wife has a secret lab chair that she finally admitted was not very comfortable, and so she's in the market for a new chair. I'm probably going to inherit her secret lab chair, which, let's be fair, secret lab chairs are not the most comfortable. The least comfortable thing about a secret the least comfortable thing about a secret lab chair is that they're the same price as a graphics card, and that is fucking criminal. Both the fact that a GPU costs that much and a chair costs that much, both of those things are criminal. Well, the one of the reasons I tried to go standing full time was because it helped keep me awake. It expended more energy, but it ultimately helped keep me awake. But um I have gradually acclimated to standing to the point where I'm like a fucking cone head. I could stand and sleep and not fall over. I'm not lying. I've done it on stream a few times. You guys, I don't know who's been here to see it, but I've done it on stream a few times, especially when doing digital art because I have my big Cintiq over here. Um, I'll be like I won't my knees won't be locked. I'll just be like kind of slumped standing and I don't fall over or anything. So I'm at a place now where I think I've acclimated to standing and I'll just fall asleep like normal even if I'm standing or sitting. So the purpose of working full-time standing has gone away now. So all I'm doing now is expending extra energy for no fucking reason. And then eventually over some years, however long it takes, I'll acclimate to sitting again. And then I will switch it back to full standing. But yeah, no, that's a serious that's a real thing though. I switched it over to being full time standing because it did help keep me awake for longer. It's pretty comfortable. Ooh, a Serta, fancy. Yeah, got got four stomachs. Is it four? How many stomachs do cows have? The first time my wife walked in to the office, while I was stand sleeping. Stand sleeping. Like fucking Dracula. I prefer using the cone head thing. I prefer comparing myself to a cone head with the whole standing thing. She walked in and she actually woke me up. And it was when she woke me up that I almost fall over. Because normally I'm just trapped in the office by myself. And then I'll just kind of wake myself up like, but she came in and when she tried to, she like nudged me. That's when I was like, "Whoa!" I almost fell over. I'm sure there's like a word for what's going on, but I doubt it's long term healthy. Though most of the things I do are pretty long term unhealthy. But yeah. So later this week, you will have the return of seated Chris to the streams. I'll tell you what though, I've built some massive quads and calves over the few past few years. I want to tell you, my calves are fucking crazy. Like I used to be into bodybuilding, and then I got into powerlifting, and then I got into long distance running for a while. And I'm gonna tell you, my legs have never looked better. I don't care how like unhealthy I get or how like sometimes I get really fat because I'll just work on a project nonstop and I just eat a bunch of junk food here. It doesn't matter. My legs are fucking immaculate, dude. I just say though. Hey, thank you for the follow on the Twitch. Thank you. Ah, there we go. We got Saitama there. Um okay. So now we're just going to use this mechanical pencil to kind of push the dark areas a little bit darker where they need to be. And then that'll be it for this drawing. You're going to try going back to the gym tomorrow. You need to go for your health. Just remember the first couple days are always the worst. It's just like when you haven't drawn for a while, you get like I refer to it as rust. You get rust. Um, like if you don't draw for like a week or whatever, you come back and you're just kind of rusty. It's gonna be like that in the gym, except for your heart. But good for you. What do you like to do at the gym? I mean, everyone has different health needs, so um, movie quiz. Who worked on the dog thing? Are you talking about in the who worked on I don't know any puppet companies other than like Jim Henson's crew or Stan Winston's crew. I don't know anything about that stuff. I just assume they have the monopoly on everything. Oh, that's what you're talking about. Paying gym fees without going. Ugh, that's like paying for streaming services and not watching anything. I used to do sports, so you need to focus on cardio, just walking really. Yeah, just the habit of walking. It's so even just walking for like 15 minutes, no incline, none of that. Just get your blood moving, you know, stretching everything out. So good for you. Start lifting weights from there, especially if you were athletic. That'll come back to you super quick. I uh I used to be really good with the jump rope. I used to be like really good with the jump rope. I used to do all kinds of stupid tricks. When I was really into long distance running and I was doing like Spartan races and I was trying to keep my weight down because I was like, I want to be all nimble. I want to be super nimble, right? Um I was at like 200 pounds, 205, and I was like jumping rope like crazy. I weigh 250 pounds right now, and I have not gotten back on the jump rope. I bet it would be a fucking catastrophe if I tried to jump again. Ah, well, I was half right. Stan Winston. But anyway, yeah, so that guy worked himself to death, huh? I just gloss over somebody who worked themselves to death so I could be half right about some piece of trivia. Oh, you're trying to lift as a beginner again, just don't know where to start in terms of reps and sets, which percentage of your max. Well, if it's been a while, you don't really even know what your current max is, right? You could just do the standard 5 by 5, you know, 5 by 5, and then just pick a starting point that you know you can do, And then every time you clear that 5x5, add 5 pounds. 5x5, you clear it, add another 5 pounds next time. Eventually, you'll get to a 5x5 that you won't be able to lift. And then there you go. Then you're good. Yeah, I've always been a big fan of 5x5. 5 sets, 5 reps of all the same weight. It's a very good way to like gradually increase your strength. And it's a really easy way to start because you don't have to overthink and you don't have to keep track of so much stuff. It's just like, all right, what's the weight for the day? All right, 5 sets of 5 reps. Of course, there are people who live and die by progressive overload, people who live and die by drop sets. The thing that I've learned over the years is everything works. You just got to find the one that you enjoy the most. Because the one you enjoy is the one that you're going to do most. And the thing that you do most is going to be the most effective one. You're a horror fan as a kid. Another random Stan Winston factoid is that the Wolfman in Monster Squad is a caricature of him. That's funny. I mean, I know 5x5 originally was meant for the big three lifts, um, squat, bench, dead. But I was just applying it to everything because it made life like really easy. And you have I used to be very anal about keeping like a workout journal. Um, and it was just so much easier to just write down like one weight I was lifting that day for that particular exercise. But I mean, we can all agree that like as long as you're exerting yourself, there's no really bad there's no really bad way, especially since you said you were athletic already. It's like you you know you know how to exercise hard. I think there are some people, like people who are new to the gym who don't really know how to exert themselves really well. Or they don't know how to exert themselves safely. There's some people who lift weights and they'll hurt themselves because they lack experience in the gym. Anyway, do one 5x5, move on to the next workout exercise. No, it's you do the full 5x5 in one exercise. So 5 reps, 5 sets of 5 reps, and the weight stays the same the whole time. So you just have to kind of your starting weight, when you're just getting back in, could be anything, but you know yourself, you can kind of eyeball it, right? And then if you're able to do 5 sets of 5 reps of that steady weight on that exercise, then the next time you go into the gym, you add 5 pounds or 10 pounds, however comfortable you are, and then you just do another 5 sets of 5 reps. And then if you are able to clear it again, then the next time you go in, you add more weight again. And eventually you'll get to a point where you cannot clear 5 sets of 5 reps. Um, and then you just keep keep at it until eventually you should be able to get past it. That's what a lot of powerlifters, at least back in the day, that's what we used to do to get past plateaus. It may be a little bit of a dated method now. I'm sure there's plenty of like articles and videos on it still. That's just again, that's just one way. There's really no wrong way to do it. But that's what I like. That's what I like to recommend if I have like friends or family. Um, that's what I had my wife starting on. But then eventually she just ended up kind of she started with a 5x5 and then eventually started increasing her reps just because that's what she enjoyed. But she did start 5x5 her post cancer treatment when I was got her back in the gym and just like try to, was I was in charge of all her physical therapy, her physical training. That's what I started her with. But again, as long as you're in there, you can't really do anything. Everything works. That's I wanna thank everybody in the TikTok chat. That's a lot of likes. We always get the most amount of likes in TikTok. I don't know if that's bots. It doesn't really matter to me. 3 to 400 likes is 3 to 400 likes, right? Yesterday we got like 1,000 likes on there, which is like more than my cumulative likes that I get on YouTube in like a year. You went to Porch Fest in Tower District yesterday. It was really chill. Hella people. There's hella people. Cool bands playing. I went to go watch in Tower District. I haven't been to Tower in hella long. Every time I go, there's a car, usually near mine, whose windows got broken in. That's why. That's not why I don't go to tower. I, I'm not worried super hard about my car getting broken into at tower. I just don't like going outside. I'm that I'm the embodiment of that meme, that old meme where it's two pictures. On one half it's the person who stayed home and they're thinking to themselves I should have went out. And on the other side it's them out thinking to themselves I should have stayed in. That's why the secret for anyone who's getting old and is on the fence about going out or staying in or you don't know what to do, the secret is you grab you grab your partner or you grab your buddies and you get some junk food, you find some good music, you somebody is in charge of the radio, get some cigarettes or something, and you just drive around in the car. That way, you guys are basically hanging out at home because you're just chilling there and you don't have to interact with other people really. You're just hanging out with the people who you allow in the car, you know. You you know what I mean? You're basically hanging out at home, but you don't have to be at home. You could still get all the junk food, get some fresh air so you're still outside. That's the secret. If anyone here is getting older and you and your friends don't know what to do and you're sick of going to restaurants and shit, it's cruising. Cruising down the street. That's what you do. Solo on guitar. Oh man. Don't talk to me about the guitar. I am so bad. I haven't touched my guitar in like a month. Yeah, it's cruising is a kickback in a car. That's all cruising is. That's why it's the shit. Oh, gas is so expensive. How expensive the price you spend on cruising on gas? The money you spend on gas while cruising is the equivalent of like one person's dish going out to eat somewhere or like one movie ticket. I wonder if kids still cruise these days because it's hard to cruise if everyone's on their phone. And I just assume kids are just always on their phone now. If anyone here is below the age of 25, you gotta let me know. Do y'all still go and cruise? If you're in high school, you guys just hop in the car. Someone in the group has a car, right? Or can borrow a car. A random Girl Scout squad selling cookies with their moms. They sold out in less than an hour. Everyone was high and drunk. The munchies were hitting. I'm just fat, so we bought like $50 worth of cookies. Man, they're always posted up outside of Walmart too. I'm like, that's crazy. Like people are coming to Walmart for food, and you're just like, we're gonna get them before they step into the. We're gonna get them before they step into the place with food. Yeah, it's they very smart to do that. It's just kind of like because they get by on just the Girl Scout name. Nope. Alright, so we just have to finish these tentacles, these tendril things, and then that should be it for this drawing. And then I think we're gonna call it for the night because I'm actually really, really tired, and my wife's not feeling too well, and she just kind of wants me to hang out for a little bit. Yeah, she actually called me earlier, but I was like, let me just finish this drawing and I'll. So just FYI, this week I think I'm pretty much just gonna stream like nonstop this week. We have a lot to do. I actually have an NDA project. Um, So I am pretty sure I saw someone do this, so I'm gonna steal the idea. We're gonna have an NDA stream. It's a digital piece, so while I work on that, I won't be screen sharing. I'll just have the camera on my face while I draw, and we'll just hang out while I work on it, so I could rack up some Twitch time. So when the time comes to apply for TwitchCon, I have enough hours. That sound cool? I don't care how that sounds. We're doing it anyway. But just FYI, that's what you could expect this week. Trying really, really hard to revive the Twitch channel, and it's been really difficult the past few years because things around, the home. But as like I mentioned before, as things I mentioned this like a year ago or so, I said one day things are going to start to settle in and I won't be needed as much around the household. And when that happens, I'm going to do my damnedest to revive the Twitch channel. And here we fucking are. I really missed being able to be a full time streamer. Um, what, as somebody who was able to experience being a full time, I've been a full time artist for a long time, but that required me to travel a lot for work, for conventions, and meet a lot of. It's just like I put in a lot of footwork, a lot of groundwork. I'm not online just putting out videos and you know popping off on social media and stuff. Past decade, I put in a lot of footwork, old school boots on the ground kind of work. And the short amount of time that I had where I was able to be a full time art streamer was like tremendous. It was probably my favorite era of my career. And I will be goddamn if I'm not going to get that back. People who make a not just a living, but a good living streaming video games, when those people have to take mental uh health breaks and stuff, to me that's like pure lunacy. I understand if you're like physically tired, you're like, oh man, I need to like I need to take like a day because my brain or like my eyes are fried from staring at the monitor for 14 hours, right? I get that because your body can only take so much like screen time, like your eyes. I get that. That's different. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when people are like, it's so difficult to be online at home. Get the fuck out of here. Because over the past um year and a half, since I've been able to start working kind of full time again with my art, um I have been doing a lot of conventions. I was back out doing the footwork because when a YouTube channel or a Twitch channel kind of stops bringing in revenue, it like stops bringing in revenue. So, um, I obviously had to rely on the conventions, which I'm like an expert at. Um, and I'm just gonna say right now, it doesn't matter how good the money is at conventions, nothing tops having no overhead and just staying home. Like if you've ever run a business and you've ever done your math about the overhead, imagine if your business had no overhead. That's yeah. But I appreciate that, dude. And you know what? You guys, specifically you. crazy. Like commissions, like this kind of stuff that not only is direct um income, but like gives me something to do on stream. That is how the channel is gonna like really, really come back. Um, we man, if AI, if DeviantArt didn't fall into the AI hole, I think that would have still, I think we would have still been on that. That would have been amazing. But that's that. Um, man, made it through, made it through COVID. Uh, made it through cancer. Made it through a lot, and I'll be damned if we're not just gonna get everything back. But I appreciate that. I'm realistic, and I'm gonna say I don't think it's gonna be soon. I have a bit of a timeline. I don't think it's gonna be soon, but I will always kind of believe that I will have a time. But I don't think it's soon. So we're gonna just gonna chill and enjoy enjoy what we got. See, my favorite part about these like late night streams or the streams where we don't have a lot of people watching is we just keep, we have the real talk. We can have real talk. Can open up a little bit. Is that real shit? I have a sealant spray that I'll be applying to all these graphite drawings, by the way. It's Krylon 13 Krylon 1306. If anyone's wondering, with these graphite pieces. Oh, with some donuts. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be adding some more detail on this with the like darken up some areas with the mechanical pencil still. Um, Probably around the midsection. But I'm probably gonna save that for tomorrow because I have to give my eyes a break, and also my wife's not feeling well. I'm gonna go hang out with her for a little bit. Um, but this was fun. So we got this one pretty much done. Um, we cleaned up all the drawings from the previous pencil streams. Got this one done. I like how this one came out. This Batman. And then I did go back and I cleaned up some of the older drawings from the previous streams. Like I pushed the blacks a little bit more. Yeah. Out of all the ones we did, this Batman's my favorite one. Yeah, no, dude. Big thank you for hanging out. TikTok chat. I want to say thank you. We will be back on tomorrow. Hopefully my mic will be working. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on with TikTok Studio, but so for the TikTok people, good evening and good night to y'all. For the YouTube chat, thank you guys for hanging out. Again, we'll be back on tomorrow. I don't know what time. You're better off just keeping my channel open all the time. And I'll see you guys